Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Cope. I am your host, Apology, and this is the No Apologies Network. And we're about to get right into that because for this one, there will be no apologies. I'm going to speak my heart on this issue because this issue pisses me off. Now, this is something I saw in passing, and a friend of mine brought it to my attention and was saying how a lot of people didn't know about this. So I feel like it's my duty to go ahead and put this out there of what's going on. Um, and just first, let me say the policing in America is out of control today. Police officers in America are out of control today. Whether they be on duty or off duty, their whole just political view and their whole view of civil rights and their sociological view is just on its ear. It's not. Um, it makes no sense. I feel like these people are the dregs of society. They're the people who can't graduate high school. They're the people who aren't good enough to go into the military. They're the people that aren't man enough to stand up for themselves when they're in high school, so they get a position of power and become a bully. These are the cowards. These are the people who are worthless. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a ton of cops who are all about being a good cop, and I love them. I respect them. I wish them to be safe out there, and most of them do get home because they are the ones that are going out there with the right intentions. People can tell when you pull up. People can tell when you have the right intentions. When you pull up on the scene of any crime or any kind of incident, people can tell what kind of energy you're coming with. And I'm going to tell you, most of the time when I encounter cops, their whole aura is, I don't want to be here. And if you don't want to be here, then take your ass home. No one asked you to be there. What kills me about cops is cops do 99% of their job for money, and anybody who does a job for money is not doing the job for the right reasons. Can I get an amen? I'm not going to beat around the bush of intentions of what cops do. I'm going to talk about what they do, and what they do is they continuously let racist cops control the narrative. They let racist cops go and lie on police reports, and then they corroborate with them, and they join a fraternity with a bunch of fucking KKK members and racists. And so that goes for any black man in the fraternal order of the police. You are, I'm not even gonna say a sellout because that's that term. You are just a POS, man. Like, I'm not trying to deal with that. Like, I don't respect anybody who's a brother of a KKK member. You can go to hell. This is why my issue was with Trump. I can't respect Trump because you let KKK members support you and vote for you, and you didn't tell them that they were POSs. And that's all you have to say. You don't have to say you disavow them or any of that crap. Just say, you're POSs. I don't need your vote. I don't even want you in this country. And if I become president, I'll exile all of you. It's funny. You can check online and see what all these white supremacists are doing, but you are instead choose to make sure people don't make fun of Charlie Kirk. Go figure. But this issue right now that we're talking about is, as we bring the picture up, you can see that this kid is sitting in front of a grown man police officer, and he's in handcuffs, which is something that really enrages me to see anytime, because I believe that they want to normalize this vision, and especially they want to normalize it with the youth, because then if the population, the white population that is the majority, gives up on the black youth population, then you can do whatever to the black adults. We are already seeing this with this DEI movement that has somehow became faced, and like the mascot of this is black people. And really, it's funny that all the black women lose their jobs first in this DEI exorcism, but the white women who were the majority recipients of DEI are not getting fired at the same rate. They're getting fired, don't get me wrong, because white men do not like white women either. You can fact check me on that. But this is why your problem is with incels. Your problem is with incels right now. It's not with black people or minorities. Your problem is with white incels who are mad because no one wants to stroke their little pickle. And you raise these children to believe that they are exceptional and special and better than anyone else when let's be real. A white American is the most useless human on this earth. I mean, real. What do you create? What do you do? What do you call besides gun deaths? And you can go ahead and pull up your 1350 little talking point. I'll devour it. But it still comes that George Washington Carver, Charles Drew, Robert Johnson, B.B. King, all of these artists and innovators of this country are all people of color. You get that, right? The Aerosmith, Rolling Stones, even though Rolling Stones aren't American, but these groups copied black artists and made more fame than those black artists. You think it's because of their talent? No, it was because white people want to buy white stuff. They listen to something from minorities and say, you know what, that's great. We should take it. And then you take it. I don't get it. I don't get how every black artist that's ever come out has made less money than the white people who helped them put that music out. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. The only one who didn't get done like that was Michael Jackson, and y'all made sure y'all killed him and trashed his name, didn't you? But I go on. This situation is the normalization of black children being criminals. Now, my issue with this on face value, you do not need handcuffs for a child. And if I showed up and you had my kid in handcuffs, I'm attacking you. If that's my child, I'm attacking you. I'm going insane. My child is going to know that you messed up by doing this. And then for when you see what it's for, it's ridiculous. Which even this picture is going to have a amazing contrast at the end. But they took this man, this child, and put him in handcuffs, made him sit there as he stood and towered over him, and probably berated him and told him how he was going to be in trouble without calling his mother, without getting a guardian there to defend this child or stand for this child or speak for this child. It's disgusting. And then when people saw what was going on, they rightfully went over to ask questions. And you'll notice in the video, as soon as the child comes, they come over to the child. The bystanders walk up to the officer and the child. They take the child and put him in the car because they didn't want that child to talk to the other adults. This is crazy. Let me tell you why this is weird in one instance. Before we get to the video, because I don't know if you know, but if you look into Georgia history, police officers, and in the South in general, these officers have more than a few times molested children under the guise of, I'm going to lock you up unless you do something for me. In some cases, they've prostituted children and sold child porn. These white officers need to be purged. Not all white officers. I'm just saying that they need to be all evaluated, investigated, and psychologically evaluated. And if you have any charge of aggression on your police jacket, you should be fired immediately. And never even be able to work security, never be able to be in the military. Because this is crazy. What they're doing is they're putting our children in danger, and we're letting them do it and paying them to do it, in fact. I'm warning you, America. I'm warning you, police forces in America. You better get on the right side of history. you better. Because when the day of reckoning comes, it's not going to be good. And I'll tell you right now, if I showed up and I saw this, oh man, I was going to rile everybody up. Those police officers would have had to put their hands on me. Am I saying I would have attacked anybody? No, of course not. What I'm saying is that you're not going to fucking bully a child. I hate when people bully children. I hate when people bully their own kids. Because I know you ain't going to bully me. And I hate when you bully your fucking kids because it makes you out to be very weak. When you hit your children, it makes you out to be very weak. Your retaliations are very, very sporadic and unfounded, but that's off the point. We'll get on that for another day. But this right here, this officer handcuffing a child would be very, very hard to explain to me. If you put him in the back of the car, that's one thing. But you handcuffing him and having him sit out in public and get viewed by everybody else like some sort of animal or criminal is out of pocket so far. And I see the visual, and I know the cops know the visual. They know what they're doing. And for them not to call his mother immediately is wild. It's flagrant. It's out of control. And then what the child says that they did before they stopped him is even crazier. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the video. There's a couple here. We're going to watch a video first of the incident where the guys are viewing and recording right when they're about to walk up, and then how the officers react, and then we'll touch back after that. Let's go watch that. Okay, let's check it out.
Bikers do. They recklessly drive into traffic, hitting cars. You try to stop them, obviously they take off. So you have to seize the bike, hey, back to office. It's so illegal, it doesn't matter if they're a kid. Right? So he wouldn't hit a bike now.
Now, see, it's good that first of all, let me say the fact that there's someone there trying to get his mother's number so they can call her is like, that shows me that there are people out there who have humanity about them, who see when they see something wrong and they try to get involved. And you can hear it. There's a few people there. It's a master crowd, and he put this kid in the back of the car because people were coming over. I have a video of that as well too.
704-449-7184.
Yes, because it can identify right.
Yeah, call his mama, bro.
My dad's bought the shop. So
and as they're asking here, they're asking, look, this is a warning situation. He's on a bicycle. You're saying that he was recklessly driving a bicycle. That's a warning thing. That's something that you just leave it how it is. Now what gets me is that if you look in his footage, they're saying that he was reckless driving, and that's why they're locking him up. Where they're locking him up, there's literally a dumpster in the street. You know what I'm saying? Which is a driving obstacle. Like, they should be locking that guy up or giving him a ticket. But I love that the fact that these people are asking them questions. But if you notice, these police officers feel like they don't owe them any explanation at all for what they're doing.
That's not how it works.
To a child.
That's how it works. That's a minor. It should have been a warning. But you got him in hand.
Why is he in the back of the police car, though?
Did he hit a car? What he was on the wrist for? What crime did he committed? Reckless driving on a bicycle. Did he hit a car? He don't have to hit a car. So why did you warn him? The first crime you commit, right? If it's a real legitimate crime, you're supposed to get called. Right? Call his mama. He right now. I know how one works. I'm telling you how one works.
And they actually did call the parents. That is just, oh my God, I can't imagine getting that call, man. I can't imagine being those guys walking up on the scene. I'm telling you right now, I'm so tired of police officers and the way they act. I have known police officers my whole life. My grandfather was a police officer. I've known them my whole entire life. One of my father's best friends is a police officer. These excuses about how they have to do the things that they do are just so far-fetched. There's no reason for you to treat no child like this. Let me tell you right now, the best incidents I had with police officers in my life. And I'm sure that a lot of young brothers will have this same thing too, even though they may not be too fond of police officers. They can at least say that they had one of these where there was always that officer that A, everyone knew, and then B, he was not a hard ass. He would talk tough to these kids and tell them like, look, next time, I'm gonna do this, or next time I'm gonna do that, but or I know your mother, or what would your brother say if he knew you was doing that? Like those people that are really involved in the community, who are part of the community, who really see themselves as peacekeepers, not the judge, jury, and executioner. Police officers are just peacekeepers. They are supposed to de-escalate. One of the biggest things I hate hearing about police officers, right, is when they saying, oh, he was scared, or I was scared, or they were scared. Get off the force. Get off the force. If you're scared, especially of this little child, get off the force. Period. Period. There's no reason or any explanation for you being like this. I am so tired of pussy males in America. And I know that the right's saying, yeah, me too. No, you guys are what I'm talking about. You just know this tough facade only makes you more fearful. When you put up a fake facade and say, I'm ready for anything, you think for your rest of your life, like, oh shit, what if anything does happen? And you know you're not ready. You know you're not ready. Now, I say it all the time, but guess what? I am ready. If it happened right now while I'm recording, I am ready. Not because I got the dehydrated packs of food and I got a whole arsenal of weapons, but because I know what I have to do. I know what I'm capable of doing. My capability and my manhood is not based around a gun or how I shoot a gun or who else has a gun. That is pathetic, if you ask me. Sure, I'm not trying to, tell you what to do. But let's look at this next section here where it shows when he came up. Shows when the guy was originally coming up on the incident. So let's go and throw that up for you there.
For the little boy, man. He got a nigga in handcuffs, bro.
All right.
Now, let me tell you also, at this moment, these officers are terrified. And if you notice, he picked it, he stood him up, and he's trying to get him out of there so these grown men can't talk to him. And they don't know if that person's related. They don't know anything. They just don't want an adult in this situation because they want to have a sense of intimidation on this child. They're probably trying to get him to, before they came up, they were probably trying to get him to admit to something that he didn't do, that he wouldn't even have known was a crime. Because these people are horrible. These officers are horrible, man. I swear, I swear, there needs to be a purge of all these officers. We need to go through all of them with a fine-tooth comb. And each one that's found to have discrepancies, put his face in public and let everybody know who he is.
That's a minor. It should have been a warning. But you got him in handcuffs.
Why is he in the back of the police car, though?
So,
did he hit a car?
The fact that they took that child away like that is so telling. It says what they're doing. It says that they know they're wrong. And then when you saw in the other video, they're asking him questions, and the cops, he's telling them, oh yeah, he's reckless driving. I don't understand why police officers don't need to know the law, the real law. Like, how are you recklessly driving a bicycle as a child? Now I can see if you were to say, oh yeah, he was an adult and he was driving an adult. Okay, an adult has a driver's license. Adult is a driver. This is a child. Now, if you notice what they're doing is, I've lived in the country, I've lived in the city, right? I've watched these country kids go around in little bike gangs. When I was in Philadelphia, I used to call them bike gangs. And not like saying they were violent, but they're a gang of fucking kids, youths, and they are riding around. Yes, they get in the way of traffic. Yes, they get in the way of all this, but they're children. Especially in a city where they don't have wide open spaces to ride around and do wheelies and all that. You're punishing children for being children, and you're reveling in it, and you're proud of it. You call yourself police. Man, if I was a police chief and I saw anybody who was ticketing kids for bike rides, man, you gone. Get the fuck out my office. Fucking Nimrod. Fuck out of here. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard of. And I've seen it with my own eyes. And yes, I've been in instances where I've almost hit kids popping wheelies on bikes. But I'm a driver who is watching those children. You're crazy. Now, here's the part that's funny to me is when we're going to watch the Real News Report and what the mother has to say about the issue and what the child has to say. Which is funny to me because America right now is on this kick about protecting the kids, right? You're about protecting the kids. Where was this big story of these cops? Not only, you know what? I'm going to let you hear it first before I even get into it. So we're going to watch the news report and hear from the mother. And yeah, she hood. But it's not a sin. But here we go.
A Charlotte mother says her 12-year-old son is traumatized after police handcuffed him and took him to jail. They say the boy was charged with reckless driving while riding his bicycle last weekend. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Brian Blakely. The mother and her son claim that he was just out for a ride with friends. Queen City News reporter David Schumann spoke to them about how he ended up in the back of a squad car.
A stranger recorded this video of Prince Irvin handcuffed in the back of a CMPD car on Sunday. Bystanders questioned officers about what was going on.
What crime did he commit?
Reckless driving.
Reckless driving on a bicycle.
Yes.
Did he hit a car?
Prince's mom, Jasmine, says she picked her son up at the jailhouse after a panicked call from one of his friends.
Terrified, traumatized, that's how he feel. He shouldn't have to.
Prince says he was riding his bike in Uptown with a group of more than 50 people, kids and adults. He noticed a police car trailing them for a few blocks. Prince says the lights flipped on and a chase began.
He hit the back of my friend's bike. Like he tried to hit him off the bike basically. I was not gonna stay there so they could do the same to me.
In South End, and now alone, Prince says officers caught up to him when he blew a tire.
When I was putting my hands behind my back, I was on the ground. So when they was picking me up, they was still like manhandling me like.
First of all, I love how he used manhandle. You was a child. You were child handled. But anyway, before we finish that, I just want to point out, like, if you look at where they're riding as well, this is like a residential area. This is not like a boulevard. Like, you go to Philadelphia, man, these kids are riding down Roosevelt Boulevard. They're going down Market Street in Center City. They're way too much to deal with. Don't get me wrong. And they're big. Like he said, he was like with like 50 of his friends, they said. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you hear what he said, the cop tried to hit his friend's tire when they tried to stop them the first time. And I wasn't going to stick around. If they were willing to do that, I wasn't trying to stick around to see what they're going to do to me. Now, first of all, if we're going to talk about reckless driving, who's reckless driving in this scenario? This is why this should be an outrage, because as far as I see it, a cop tried to kill a child. The child ran, and then they treated him like a criminal, like an animal. So what does that do to his psyche? What does that do to his psyche? And the psyche of all the children that may have witnessed that. White and black. Now, see, let me reveal a dynamic to you people who don't understand. Now, I'm hoping that the people who do watch this understand, but if you don't, I hope you're watching too, so I can explain this to you. When you put the visual out there that young black men are violent and criminals, that informs the decision of those young black men of themselves, especially when they look everywhere else and they don't see that accentuated on television and in music. They see themselves made to be gangsters and killers in music. That warps their vision. So when they're different, and if they're different from that picture that you've painted for them to look at, they either feel weird or they're made to feel weird by others who also are suffering from that same thing, because they're like, yo, you're not supposed to be that. We're not supposed to be that. Now, that happens in the black community, right? There's the problem and the sickness there that society has caused. And this is part of societal racism that you people don't understand. You also have the view of white children looking at those musicians and those what they depict this on to be on television and thinking that's real. And then they're looking at how young black males are treated differently in public spaces, and they begin to think it's okay. These young white children grow up to be cops, and they grow up to, keep going on and perpetuating the same behavior. It's insidious and it's sick. Now, there's a lot of aspects of racism that a lot of people believe are systematic. I believe that they're just byproducts of bad policy and bad societal behavior. That they weren't intended to be as bad as they were racially or just bigotry-based ideas and stereotypes in general. I don't think that they were intentionally done to do that way. I think some of them are byproducts. But this one, the manhandling of black men and children, is not. This one is intentional. This is to keep the perpetuation and this in the visual that they have of unruly black people in general. When a black person fights back from being manhandled, they say, "Oh, he's an animal." When he goes along with it and does as they ask, like George Floyd, and he gets murdered, then they say, "Oh, well, he deserved it because he was a criminal." Because you just already view them as that. But when I say Charlie Kirk getting shot by some crazy Mormon, oh, he shouldn't have been doing what he was doing, I'm wrong. It's 100% right. He literally said, I don't care if somebody shoot me. And then he got shot, and I'm supposed to care? The man who told me that my brain, maybe it's because of the brain cells that I'm missing. Maybe it's because my cranium is a few sizes too short. Or maybe it's because my heart is like the Grinch, a few sizes too small. I'm not going to care. Maybe it's that. I'll use that as the excuse, his excuse. Because it's funny that you people watched Trayvon Martin get killed. You watched Tamir Rice get killed. You watched Michael Brown get killed. And those were children, and you didn't care. All because of what could have been implied that they were doing. Not one of them children had a gun. Not one of them children threatened anybody. But they were murdered. Let's go to Jordan Neely on the train. A man who they said he did threaten people. I doubt it. But he hurt no one. And they in a regular everyday just jerk off killed him. And you people want to give him an award. You people kill me. There's no way that you can look at this and not understand what I'm saying. But let's continue.
Jasmine says the experience has taken away her child's innocence.
You gonna run, you going home to your mother. You wanna feel safe and protected. This big man chasing you with a car and you a little boy on a bike. What you think he gonna do to you if he already hitting your friends?
Information on the case is limited because Prince is a minor, but Charlotte-Mecklenburg police say in a statement, officers acted to ensure the safety of the individual seen in the video based on the circumstances at the time. The department regularly responds to reports of individuals riding bicycles in a manner that poses a danger to themselves or others on city roadways. This arrest comes 3 years after the city cracked down on large groups of young bicycle riders, some who were accused of playing chicken with traffic and sometimes using violence against drivers. Prince and his mother say Sunday's incident was not related to any gang and he was just out for a ride. Prince hasn't gotten his bike back, but in a remarkable act of kindness, the man who recorded the arrest bought Prince a new one. Prince and Jasmine are both grateful.
He's a child. He's a little black boy. He is mine, and he is somebody. And that's what I want these people to know. They're not going to do my son like that because that is not okay. He's not an animal.
And that's
in Charlotte,
like,
David Schumann,
like
Queen City News.
Exactly, Mom. Exactly. And you know what? This is what we need to do as people, let alone as just black people. We need to say this is not going to happen. And the fact that is so small there that man bought him a new bike, right? Now, they arrested this child and took his bike. What? Is that not a bully? And we know, and you know, this is the funny thing. They do this shit all the time to black kids, right? We know that just by statistics that black families are not as wealthy as white families. But they would take from these. So then that parent not only has to bail their child out, but then they also have to come up with money to get a new bike, and that's going to set them back. Like, you ruin futures. You've been ruining black futures forever, and you still trying to. But here's the thing. Here's the one thing you have with your evil European society have made us able to withstand anything. The snowflakery that you push in your life and in your families that makes you, go and get on roofs and snipe people, or go to school and shoot up the kids that bullied you, not realizing that you are so mad at black people and all of the people that gave you wedgies and wet willies and titty twisters and shoved your heads in toilets. Those weren't black kids. Those were all white kids. White people have done all of the wrong to you in your life. Let me put this out to you, white people. White people have done you wrong your whole life. You cannot look at me and show me any statistical proof or any historical proof that black people have hurt your lives in this day and age. You cannot. You just hate us while you go home and then listen to our music or get on TikTok and then do our dances. It's sad. And the funny thing about it is you think that we're hurting at this moment, the black community. No, we can still call out stuff like this. We can still call out stuff like this and say it's wrong. But we are laughing at you right now. And I want you all to know it. We are laughing because this is what they say. The chicken's coming home to roost. You've played yourself into this. You voted for your little right-wing, white nationalist party. And this is all yours. There's no one you can blame for this. You may try to blame Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, and which is funny because it's just funny that you're all putting it on the first Jewish Senate minority leader and the first minority black majority and minority House leader. It's hilarious that it just turns out like that. And this goes for you Democrats too, and especially you progressives, because I do peep your racism. I do peep your racism and how you side with the bigotry. I peep it. But anyway, it's just funny that, you guys have screwed it up so bad, and you're leaving and you're trying to poke the bear. You're trying to make us, like when Charlie got Kirk, wasn't any black people or minorities involved, but you got online and you started threatening minorities. Why? And your little race war. Let me remind you guys what you did in your first race war, okay? Your first race war was, I don't know what the number is of how many you killed, but at the time it was historic. We'll put it up. We'll put it up over here. Of how many people you killed, right? You killed each other. Let me remind you. You burned each other's lands. You raped each other. You murdered each other. That wasn't on us. So what makes you think that this time around, where we actually have the choice to say, you know what?
No.
No, like Reds Pop. Ain't fucking with you people. I will let you all massacre each other. If you want to fight so bad and show your savagery, fight, fight, fight. I say go get 'em, Tiger. I'm fighting Team Blue. I'm rooting for Team Blue, though. But realize, whenever you finish your little scrap, minorities already know what you stand for. And all of your hatred is going to come out. No matter what you do, you've already let the cat out of the bag thanks to Donald Trump. You can thank Donald Trump for that. You've already let the cat out of the bag. And this is what's also great about this moment in time. Okay. No, I'll get to that in a minute. So once again, we find ourselves dealing with this kind of nonsense. Now, where we're going to twist it now is for all of the white people who are watching right now, and you're like, oh, here we go again. It happens to white kids too. It does happen to white kids. It definitely does happen to white kids. And I want everybody to follow these cases and see exactly how it happens. But this next video is like, I laughed at it a lot. I shouldn't. It's really not funny. I laughed at it a lot because I see both sides, and I'll explain it to you after this. Okay, now here's a different situation. See if you can see the contrast. I can say before this starts that I kind of see both sides, but let me just show you this, and we'll go over the contrast afterwards.
Get on the ground.
Bro,
Get
what
on the ground. Come here.
Hey,
Come here.
you see?
Yeah, you see? Get down.
Oh, you're about to get arrested.
You can't get on the ground. What? On the ground. All right.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, sir, can you call the cops? Please.
Hey, call the police.
Hey,
I am the police.
What are you doing?
Get the
Bro is lucky that
Yo, hey, stop. Hey, stop.
he's lucky that.
I will
Stop.
shoot you.
What the hell make you try to go and grab that bag?
Stop. Do not
What's
do
the-
that.
this-
Why are you
There's
putting
something in
out
that
on the
bag.
ground.
Why are you
Something in
doing
it.
it?
Get on the ground.
Okay. Bro, what are
Come
you
here.
doing?
Get on the ground.
Yo, help! Help! What? Dude, what are you doing?
Hey.
Why are you pointing a gun at me? Dude, what are you doing? Hey, help! Help!
Get on the
Help! Mom! Mom!
Look at the street. Where the hell was it? Where were the people at? How could you hear that going on outside your house and just sit there? And I'm not talking about him yelling with the pistol, but these kids are yelling, "Help! Mom! Don't shoot me!" And those streets were clear. No one came out. That's insane. That's contrast number one. Is the reaction in that black neighborhood to the reaction in the white neighborhood. So let's make this clear. Police violence has already been normalized. Right? Now, fair enough. That second guy was a cop. But the story goes, these kids are walking through the neighborhood, according to him, I guess, being unruly of sorts. And he called them over and tried to get them to stop. And they told him, as white boys do, go fuck yourself. Or, included some nice parlance, including his mother. Most likely, because that's how they do. As they're right and free to do. And they walked off. So he goes back inside and puts on his deputy's uniform. He's a sheriff's deputy. And he puts on his deputy's uniform and his badge. And he gets his little gun, which he didn't need. He could have just went out there with the deputy uniform. But he came, and what they said is he followed them for a little while after that. I guess they saw him, and I guess they started to make their way home. He followed them, then he jumped out, pulled his gun on them. And that's just insane. How scared must they have been? I guess they felt like Trayvon Martin felt when he realized there was a man following him with a gun. Now, why I say I see both sides of this. Well, let me finish. Let me say this real quick before I get to the rest of the contrast. When I say I view both sides on this is because I know how irritating a group of white young males can be. Oh my God, they're the most disrespectful people on earth. They don't even respect their mothers.
Mom, I'm in pain. How could you do this to your son, you bitch? You fucking bitch!
They're horrible, verbally. They may be good guys, but they're just very disrespectful. So I can see the rage that might have engulfed him like Kill Bill as soon as they told him to go fuck himself. I get it. But those children were scared. There was at least the one who had the camera was terrified. Then what in the and that other kid grabbing the bag, I think that's what made the one on the ground really get scared, because he's like, yo, because you always got that one friend that you're afraid is going to get you into some shit you ain't going to ever get out of, and then you're in this situation and you're thinking he's doing that right now. Ugh. But that says to me that they were doing something wrong. Not something like criminal, but they probably had like some weed or some alcohol in their bag, because what else would have made him get the balls to grab that bag? Besides the fact that white children know a cop is not going to shoot them. White children know that no one is going to let them just get murdered like that by anybody, let alone a police officer, because there will be hell to pay in consequences. But let me make it quite clear that officer was 100% in the wrong. Now, the other contrast is this is white and black. This is white kids, and the other one was a black kid. But this should scare everybody that both of these infractions were nothing. Nothing. And it should scare white people as well, because now they have the right to treat all of you like this. So you can say whatever you want. Before, when you had that white privilege where you could get justice, Trump just ruined that. He's literally given police, ICE, and all these agencies carte blanche to do whatever they want. And though you may be a law-abiding citizen, think about little Johnny, who likes telling people to go fuck himself when he's in a crowd. Just putting that out there. But this goes to all the police who like to manhandle children. There's people like myself that are not going to tolerate that. And you could take that any way you want. It's going to start with a conversation. Wherever it goes from there is your fucking choice. But you are not above the law. I don't care what that orange fool tells you. And we are coming to a very, very wild place in this country, man. We're coming to a wild place. And if we keep on going, there will be no return. And let me tell you, when no return comes, that doesn't mean, oh, we're just going to have a lot of turmoil in our country. No, that means we're vulnerable to every enemy we have outside this country. And there's a lot of enemies who just want to do harm. They don't see, we want to take places over because we're greedy fucking capitalists and colonialists. And I say we as America, not me. That's you. But you got your filth on me, so I'm going to go ahead. I can't absolve myself. But other people just want to bring the pain to you that we brought to their nation, and most of Americans don't even know what we've done to other nations. It's astounding. It's sickening, and it's disgusting. So I'm telling you, man, police, you better get your houses in order. And if you're a good cop, more power to you. Need more like you. But I will only believe you are a good cop if you're turning in bad cops. If you have never, ever turned in a bad cop in your life, then you are not a good cop. Are we fucking clear?